The most common question that I get from people who have maybe tried to build a business and they failed, or try to clear an exam, maybe like civil services, did not succeed, or just worked in a job where they spent a couple of years and nothing really came out of it. And when that happens, quite often, that sense of failure, it hangs over your life like a dark cloud. And we keep going back and relitigating the past, like, why did this happen? It should not have happened to me. I wasted so much time. And in the process, we are so stuck in the past that we are not able to get over the failure and move beyond it. So today, I'm going to share with you two specific ideas on how we can put the past behind us, the failure behind us, and look forward and move forward without the baggage. For that, let's first understand what is holding us back. In my view, there are two major things, at least two things, which hold you back when you have gone through this kind of failure. First is this sense that I have put in so much of effort. I gave it my best. I tried really hard. So much time, money, effort, everything was spent and it's all a waste. The sense of loss, that sense of loss just, it stops you. It pulls you back and stops you from moving forward. The second thing which holds you back is this sense again of the loss of time, like the time is gone or nothing is left. Both of these beliefs, that the sense of loss and the sense of like the time is gone, nothing is left, both these beliefs are wrong. And today I'm going to help you question and challenge your own beliefs and overcome them so that you can put the baggage behind and move forward confidently and happily and build a great life. All right? Let's start. Let's first start with the first thing, which is the sense of loss. There's so much I've put into it, whether it's a business or exam prep or whatever, and it's all gone. Is that really true? In fact, to challenge that assumption, I'm going to share a story with you. I have many stories on this point, but let's start with this one story, which is my own life experience. So when I was in class 9th in school, at that time I developed this habit of reading newspapers. It's a very good habit. In fact, this is the pre-internet era. So if you really wanted to learn about what's going on in the world, the only mechanism was to read newspapers. And fortunately, I started really enjoying it. So I was not doing it because it was good for me. I just loved the whole experience of reading papers. In fact, I remember during the break, we would have like a very short break. I would come home, just there is barely enough time. My house was very close to the school in Allahabad, and when I would come home, there would be just about 10 minutes after lunch, and I would actually open in those 10 minutes, I would invariably go through the newspaper, like all the headlines on, and I was up to date on everything. And why was I doing it? No reason. I just enjoyed it. So I had no idea that this is something that will be practically very useful. It's obviously good to be up to date, but there was no plan as such. I never thought this was going to be useful, and it wasn't. I went to IIT. You can imagine, when you're studying engineering, really it doesn't matter that much how much current affairs you read or you have invested time in. But it so happened, totally unexpectedly, that once my undergraduate was over, I decided to write the civil services exam. And there, when the time for interview came, we had to give a hobby. Now, as you can imagine, like most Indian students, I didn't really have much of a hobby, so I wrote international relations. And that was because it so happened that I was actually totally up to date with everything that was happening. And when I landed in the interview panel, so they went through my biodata, the resume, and they looked at, okay, so studied in IIT, and and hobby says international relations. Now, naturally, if somebody has been to maybe Delhi University or JNU, you obviously expect them to be in tune with to be attuned to whatever is happening. But somebody from IIT, it's a little bit strange. And this is something which invariably would sort of grab their attention. And then what would happen is, when this happened, they started asking questions about this country, that conflict, and almost, I would say, 80% of the interview was just about international relations. And since I was so well prepared, every single question they asked, I was able to answer it very, very comfortably. And I would say this was mostly luck. And because of that luck, what happened was I got really good marks in interviews. In fact, I got maybe almost twice as some of my close friends, and it really helped me clear the exam. Now, when I was reading newspapers like many years ago, this wasn't the plan. I had no idea. The point here is that Whatever you are learning, whatever experience you're going through, we think it has no value. We don't know. In fact, it's quite likely. My personal experience has been that very, very often, whatever you have learned, whatever you have experienced, at some point in life, it will come handy, it will have value. Today, I run the startup called HabitStrong, and we are doing many things, right? We're doing well. But it might look like all the things that we're doing right, we're doing it right because we just know it. No. We are doing many things that we are doing right, we're doing them right because we have done them wrong in the past. We have made those mistakes and then learn from them, and now we know not to make those mistakes. All right? So you may think that it has gone waste. I can assure you, in some shape or form, sometime in your life, I cannot say when, but sometime in your life, whatever you have learned, whatever you have invested in, it will come handy. There is something you'll get out of it. If nothing else, you have learned how to handle failure. Some people who have never had any failure in life, and the first time they have experienced failure, it feels like you have this deer in the headlight syndrome. You just don't know what to do. You're paralyzed. So whether it is the knowledge you have learned or the experience or the whole psychological the process you have gone through, all those things will give you things tangible and intangible which will stay with you. And I have the strong conviction that it will come in handy. It's not going to be a total waste. All right, now let's talk about the second thing, which is I wasted so many years or so many months or so many decades, whatever it is, the time is all gone. I want to again challenge that assumption. But for that, let me take this example. Let me take an analogy. Let's say you're playing cricket. You are a batsman or a batter, and it's a 50-over match, and 10 overs are over. Okay, 10 overs are gone, and now you're on the pitch, you're batting, and those 10 overs, maybe you did not bat really well. Now, what should you do? What's the right approach? What would you do? 40 more overs are left. If we think about the previous 10 overs, of course, we can learn from them. But if it's like, why did I let the second over? Why did I not hit this ball? Why was the second over a maiden over? Why could I have done this? If that's your thought process, we are missing out on the fact that 40 more overs are still left. The previous over should not be allowed to determine the next over. They're independent. All right? So remember one thing. Life is never over. Whatever happened, it's past. We cannot change our past, but we can and we will change our future. So focus on the remaining 40 hours. Focus on whatever is coming up next, because there is stuff coming up next. There is opportunity. There are a lot of opportunity that will come up. So focus on things going forward. Focus on the remaining 40 overs of the match in whatever situation you are in your life. Life is never going to be, there's no last thing. There's always one more thing and one more thing. Till you're alive, things will keep coming up. There's always a chance to do something. So take this as an opportunity. All right? Look at the next 40 overs. And if you have these two things sorted in your head, if you know that, yes, whatever I did, it'll come handy and I can use it and move forward and look forward, there is no failure. It's just all an experience. Failure, success is a classification in our mind. It's all an experience. Take that experience and move on. And we all can do that. And I can assure you one more thing. If you think that some people are just successful, everybody has some ups and downs. We all go through failures. So you're not alone. You're like everybody else. So just in that spirit, put the past behind you and move forward. I can assure you, it will someday help you. It'll make you stronger. It'll make you a better person. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.